I'm Sarah Murphy.
And I'm Brian McElhatton. We're glad you're with us tonight. The big story, of course, conservative commentator and activist Charlie Kirk assassinated while speaking at Utah Valley University today.
Kirk was on a speaking tour visiting college campuses across the country. Today's event brought in thousands of supporters and opponents to debate issues ranging from religion to gun rights. Around 12:20 today, Kirk was answering a question, we're told, about perpetrators of mass shootings when this happened.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
We slowed down and paused that video for you. We understand it's very sensitive. Authorities confirmed Kirk died a few hours after that video was taken. A witness who was in the front row tells us what she saw from her perspective.
It was just surreal. Like it probably took everybody kind of just started looking around, and it probably took a good maybe 3 seconds for everybody to realize that it was real and actually start ducking. And then I don't know who it was, but people just started screaming and telling us to run, run, run.
She shared with us a glimpse of what she saw today. She tells us that image of Kirk right after he was shot is now burned into her mind.
Well, tonight we're bringing you team coverage, the latest on the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Our Mackenzie Diaz has spent the evening at a vigil for Charlie Kirk, speaking with mourners there.
But first, our Jordan Tracy is live in Orem with more on the aftermath of the shootings. What happened since? Jordan, we know you've been there for hours. Tell us the latest on what you've seen, what you've heard, and what's happening now.
Well, Sarah, first and foremost, suspect is still at large. That is the latest we're hearing from the FBI tonight. A part of that investigation, we've learned it was one shot aimed at and striking Charlie Kirk, later killing him. And as that shot rang out, the crowd erupted into chaos as they saw him hit and fall to the ground.
This is the police chief's nightmare.
Police say Kirk was shot at 12:20 during his event held by Turning Point USA. Kirk was taken in a private vehicle to Timpanogos Hospital, where he later died. Police had an initial suspect who was taken in, but later released.
Shortly after the shooting, we did have a suspect in custody, George Zinn, but he was released from custody after we identified that he did not match the shooting suspect and was not an accurate person of interest. However, he has been booked into the county jail by Utah Valley University Police Department for obstruction of justice.
There was a second person of interest in custody, but the FBI now saying they also have been released. They're relying on closed-circuit security footage, which they highlighted the poor quality of the video. All they can describe the shooter by is their dark clothing.
The shot came from here on campus, from a location at a fair roof. Potentially from a roof, yes. A longer distance shot from a roof.
Security of the event was handled by Utah Valley Campus Police, coordinating with Charlie Kirk's personal security, who have handled events like these across the country.
We did have 6 officers working that event. We had probably over 3,000 people that were in attendance. It sat down in kind of a bowl area here on the central campus. We have a waterfall area, and so he was kind of in a lower area, surrounded by buildings.
This included officers inside the crowd.
We train for these things, and you think you have things covered, and these things, unfortunately, they happen. You try to get your bases covered, and unfortunately today we didn't. And
again, that manhunt continues tonight. The FBI scrubbing through all digital media clips that they've been finding on the internet, or as well as witnesses sending in video as well. And as I mentioned, relying on that closed circuit security footage from the campus of UVU. But again, that manhunt continues tonight, guys.
Yeah, we appreciate those updates, Jordan. And we understand there are obviously many questions many have, and we're waiting for answers on those. Can you tell us the latest? We know you spoke with law enforcement earlier. When can we expect maybe a bit more updates, a bit more information on some of these questions?
Yeah, a lot of the investigation at this point, Sarah, has been very tight-lipped. They've been sending email press releases to the media, but in fact, if you follow along with the FBI Director Kash Patel's X account, sometimes he's posting updates before we're even getting the official update to our email. We're also learning that they expect to have a potential update for us at 7 a.m. tomorrow right here on the campus, and we will cover that for you and get you the latest information when we can. Reporting in Orem, Jordan Tracy, ABC 4 News.
Jordan, thank you. So many people affected by this, people who followed Charlie Kirk, even people who didn't. They gathered tonight for a vigil at the Utah State Capitol, vigil for Charlie Kirk. Hundreds of people there attended to pay their respects.
And that's where ABC4's Mackenzie Diaz is live tonight. Mackenzie, we know a difficult day for all of those people Brian just mentioned. You talked to some of them. Tell us what they're saying at this point.
Yeah, a lot of people here are confused, they're concerned, they're in mourning. We spoke to some people at the vigil and they share some of the good memories they have of Charlie Kirk.
Shock and sorrow echoing inside the Capitol walls on this Wednesday night. Community members mourning this loss felt around the world.
He was the voice of reason. He always had an open mic.
He's someone I've looked up to a lot, especially like political commentary side.
My family loves him, my husband and I love him, and we definitely came to honor him, to remember him. He was a father, he was a husband, he had 2 children at home, and I can't imagine that the pain that his family is going through right now.
For many, the vigil was deeply personal as hundreds gathered to pay their respects, speak out, and light candles to honor Charlie Kirk's memory.
We're sad that we got to lose someone so important and so great, and when we heard about the vigil, we said this is something that we should go. We have to show our respect.
The community coming together, trying to cope with this incredible loss.
Why would you do that? You don't have to have the same political views as someone, but that's a human. Again, a father, a husband, he had 2 children. I have a son. I can't imagine my husband being shot.
Like, that's so scary that that can just happen, that someone could just be killed on stage, especially if they have opinions that some people disagree with. And so I think the increase of political violence is the most scary thing, but I also think that the other scary thing is that we're just attacking opinions because they're opinions.
And tonight, the question many people still have is why, as they continue to mourn the loss. Brian?
Well, Mackenzie, what's the overarching message that you are hearing from people at the Capitol tonight?
Well, there's a lot of overall mixed feelings. I think we saw some people shedding tears tonight. We saw frustration from a couple other people. And yet some people here at the vigil say there's a sense of community and peace, knowing that this sad happening brought the community together in a way.
Our Mackenzie Diaz live at the Capitol tonight. Mackenzie, thank you very much. We appreciate the coverage. We're continuing on with our coverage with this at 10 o'clock. We saw supporters of Charlie Kirk outside Timpanogos Regional Hospital this evening, where crews brought his body, we understand, earlier today.
And dozens were seen lining up, waving American flags in honor of the late commentator. Some signs read, "God bless America, pray for his family. We love you, Charlie." Just some of the signs we saw out there today. And President Donald Trump recorded a video message tonight after that shooting.
And he's telling the nation this. Take a listen.
Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God.
And Governor Spencer Cox also shared remarks tonight, telling the press capital punishment is still law in this state.
But I want to make it crystal clear right now to whoever did this, we will find you. We will try you. And we will hold you accountable to the furthest extent of the law. And I just want to remind people that we still have the death penalty here in the state of Utah.
Some promises, some reminders from Governor Cox there. Former President Joe Biden is also speaking out on this Wednesday, telling us there's no place in our country for this kind of violence. It must end now. Jill and I are praying for Charlie Kirk's family and loved ones.
Well, tonight, the FBI is looking for more information about the shooting. In fact, it's opened up a tip line on the website there where you can write out your tip or share your footage if you have them. They've been asking for footage if you have that. If you have information that the FBI could use in the investigation, you can find a link to the tip line on our website, abc4.com.
And we understand there's a lot more information you want to know and we want to bring with you. So stick with ABC4 News for the continuing coverage of the assassination of political commentator Charlie Kirk. We will bring you the very latest updates right here on broadcast, on our website too, and our News for Utah Plus. That's our new app. If you don't have that downloaded, you can download it on your smart TV. In fact, right after this newscast, if you tune over to your News for Utah Plus app, we'll be airing a Charlie Kirk special. That's at 10:30, so stay tuned for that.
And still to come here on ABC4 News at 10.
We want to bring you further coverage, a look into the recent history of politically motivated attacks in America. We'll bring you those details when we return.
Okay, let's go back out to that breaking news. A big fire burning right now in downtown Salt Lake City along Main Street near 300 South. Our Jordan Tracy has set up there, and let's go to him now for a live report. Jordan, first of all, lay out the scene for us. What are you seeing? What are you smelling and hearing? Give us their sense of the scene there.
Well, Brian, I'll tell you this, coming from downtown through 400th Street on our way here to 321 South Main Street, you could see the smoke billowing in the air. I want to step out of the way here so you can see. If you take a look, and then if they get out of the way here, if you guys get out of the way here, thank you very much.
Public property.
If you get out of the way here, you can see water billowing, the smoke billowing in the air here, and there's flames still coming from the building, and you can continue to see the firefighters doing their best to get control of that flame. Flames still continuing to come out of this building here. If you look at the address on Google, it is actually Main Street. The London Bell is the address for this, but there's several bars on this strip here, and you actually can see firefighters off to the right actually trying to break into some of the buildings here. It looks like they have some type of saw breaking into a door to get access to another side of the building. But again, the smoke is very thick. There's a large crowd. As you can see, I was being rudely interrupted here, but they are trying to get up and over the building. As we heard earlier reports about the roof being unstable, you see them trying to attack the fire from up top with the crane, and a firefighter all the way up on the ladder. They're trying to attack it from the top as those flames continue to billow out. Now, just a few moments ago, you could still see large flames coming from the top of that building. But again, a crowd has gathered here as they're watching a major fire here downtown, causing also a major traffic disruption right here on Main Street. Again, a main artery of downtown. We'll keep you updated as we learn more, and on abc4.com. For now, I'll send it back to you, Brian.
Jordan, if you can hear me, a question for you. You said this is near possibly the London Bell bar. We're still working to confirm that, but it is in that complex with other bars. We've been hearing that firefighters had to pull out of the building because there were some concerns about structural integrity with the flames burning through the roof possibly. You've been on many fires in your career. Can you tell me about the safety concerns firefighters deal with when you have a fire of this size and intensity?
Well, absolutely. When a fire is this large and you have flames continuing to burn on that roof, structure is obviously going to be a main concern. As you can see from the firefighters here, a lot of them on the outside of the building. I haven't seen anybody going in or out since I've been here on the scene the last 15 minutes. And the other thing I want to know, Dennis, if you can pan over here, you see firefighters going into the side of next door neighboring buildings. That's only where I've been seeing any firefighters making entry. I'm wondering, again, this is just speculation, if maybe they're trying to get a different angle of the fire because of the unstableness of this. And then, Dennis, if I could have you pan off to the left again, you can see kind of behind the tree where that water is spraying for the firefighters. That's where the majority of the flames are. That back southwest corner of the building, you can see the fire glow. You can see the flames continuing on. And again, I'm not seeing any firefighters going in because, as you've mentioned, the danger of the rooftops.
Okay, Jordan Tracy there along Main Street for us in downtown Salt Lake City. Jordan, I know you're going to stay there. You're going to gather some more information, talk to some folks. We'll check in with you here shortly as firefighters continue to battle those flames there on Main Street. Jordan, thank you. We'll see you soon.
Good evening and welcome to ABC4 News at 10 o'clock. I'm Jordan Tracy. Thank you so much for joining us. Brian and Sarah have the night off. Now, thousands came together today for the funeral of fallen officer Eric Estrada. He's one of the 2 Tremont and Garland officers killed in the line of duty a week and a half ago. ABC4's Northern Utah correspondent Kate Gardner gives us a look at the services tonight.
It was a solemn morning here in Logan when friends, family, and state leaders came together to honor and remember Officer Eric Estrada and thank his family for their sacrifice. At times, it was emotional inside Spectrum Arena as Officer Estrada's colleagues described his work ethic. They say he was a man who believed in community policing and saw the best in everyone he dealt with. They, along with his loved ones, described him as having attributes like loyalty, empathy, kindness, and bravery. Attributes that made him so important to so many. His brother Jesus said many of these characteristics now live on in Officer Estrada's 2 young children and shape him today.
Eric wasn't just a part of my life. He shaped it, he challenged me, he looked out for me, and he showed me again and again what it means to love fiercely, live fully, and to never do anything halfway.
Jesus Estrada also wanted to let the families of Deputy Allred and Sergeant Sorensen know that they love them and they are with them. Sergeant Sorensen's funeral is here at the arena tomorrow morning. Reporting from Logan, Kate Garner, ABC4 News.
Cade, thank you. When the funeral service wrapped up, the casket of Officer Estrada was brought to the Logan Cemetery to be laid to rest. It was a very short procession, but a powerful one. Service members were seen lining up alongside the road saluting the hearse. We also know that this was an event that brought so many law enforcement agencies here from all over the country. Take a listen to what some of them had to say.
Well, it's been amazing, especially seeing the show of support with the community and seeing how many people are showing just outpouring their love to them. Because right now it's amazing.
What has this been like for you guys? It's been awesome. Everybody in Utah has been great. Just a bunch of thank yous from the community and the federal law enforcement from the area has been great.
Because of the support, not just from law enforcement, but from the community as a whole, we're told that it's been helping the Estrada family heal. Now, authorities want to warn commuters in northern Utah about traffic disruptions due to tomorrow's funeral service. Midday, the body of Sergeant Lee Sorensen will be taken from Tremont to the Smith Spectrum in Logan. Now, the ceremony and a procession will transport Sorensen's body to where he'll be buried north of Tremont. Like we just mentioned, that funeral for Sergeant Sorensen takes place tomorrow morning at D. Glenn Smith Spectrum in Logan. We'll bring you coverage of that service beginning on Good Morning Utah. You can also watch the coverage on our new streaming app, News for Utah Plus.
Welcome to ABC4 News at 10. I'm Brian McElhatton. Thanks for being with us. Sarah is off this week. Tonight we begin with the Beulah fire burning in the high Uinta Mountains. Firefighters say it's burned over 3,300 acres so far. Containment is at 0%. The fire's cause, well, that's still under investigation tonight. A community meeting was held tonight just over the state line in Evanston, Wyoming. Our Mackenzie Diaz was following that meeting tonight. Mackenzie, what did they tell you? What's the update here tonight?
Hey, Brian. Yeah, well, there are over 390 people working on the fire from Utah, Colorado, Nevada, Wyoming. During this community meeting, people got a little bit more clarity on what crews are dealing with at the fire.
The Beulah fire is burning north of the Uinta Mountains, nearly 7.5 miles southeast of the Bear River Ranger Station along the Mirror Lake Highway. Fire officials say dry fuel, strong winds, and low humidity have helped spread the fire. The fire first started August 7th and is now being taken over by the Great Basin Team 4, a complex incident management team, on Monday morning. And crews say there are spot fires caused by embers, making it harder for them to get the flames under control.
It's a huge recreation area. We have a lot of people that recreate in this area, and that hampers the efforts and the effect that the firefighters are trying to do when they have to spend their time mitigating people.
Crews say their main focus is on some residents in Christmas Meadows, the Boy Scout camp, Uinta lands, and Manor lands up to the north. They've used thousands of gallons of water from planes.
So anxious. I'm terrified.
Elise Madison lives in Uinta County in Wyoming and is prepared. She's about 6 miles away from one of the points in to the fire.
We feel like it's safe to be there at this point, but we're staying very diligent.
Fire officials say ground crews are cleaning vegetation along roads, scouting and reinforcing containment lines, and preparing structures in the area. Campgrounds and trailheads like Christmas Meadows, Lily Lake, and Hellhole are closed along with many other popular forest access points.
This is our planet that we're talking about. We need to take this seriously.
Crews say they're watching the forward progression of the fire as they expect it to start spreading more south, and we'll keep you updated when we know more. Mackenzie Diaz, ABC4 News.
Salt Lake police are releasing body cam footage after officers responded to a trespassing call early this morning that resulted in a dog being shot and killed by police. Now, we want to warn you and express that this video is graphic and may be distressing to watch.
Hey, stop! Officers first encountered the dog at 3:23 Sunday morning, responding to a trespass call near the 7-Eleven on South Redwood and West North Temple. Just seconds later, the dog appears to lunge, and that's when police say the officer was bitten. The officer issuing this warning. Dog, or I'm gonna shoot it! Get out of here or it's dead! The dog is seen being taken by the owner and given to another person on a leash. Roughly a minute later, another responding officer arrives on scene, another command given. Do not let that dog go! That's when the dog breaks free of its collar, heads toward the officer. More warnings. Shoot your dog! I will shoot your dog! I will shoot your dog! The handler struggling to get the dog under control as it turns away from the warning officer. Coming from the other side, that first officer that was bitten arrives. Dog now facing them, but not quite seen lunging, but barking. That officer yells, "Move, Matt! Move, Matt! Move!" and fires. The owner seen pushed away to the ground and detained. From multiple angles, you can see the handler standing close to the dog as shots were fired. The dog critically injured and later put down by Salt Lake County Animal Services. Police say the owner was able to have a private moment with the dog and given information to get its remains. SLC Police Chief Brian Redd releasing a statement saying, "This is a difficult situation for everyone involved. I understand how people deeply care for their animals, and I recognize the pain this dog's owner and those who knew this dog are experiencing. At the same time, our officers were faced with a dangerous and rapidly evolving situation. The officers were forced to make a difficult split-second decision to protect themselves. None of our officers ever want to be placed in these type of situations, but our priority will always be the safety of our officers and community."
Welcome into the newsroom, everyone, and let's start out tonight by saying this. If you ever receive a message from someone that you don't know saying that you're about to inherit millions and millions of dollars from a family member that you've never met before, it's probably a scam, right? Tonight I want to talk about the sophistication of these types of scams and show you that anyone, not just old folks, but anyone, including journalists, can fall prey to them. Let's set the stage here. I had a colleague reach out to me a few weeks ago saying that he had a letter sent to him to this television station here in Missoula by a Robert Beck from the Robert Beck law firm located in Ottawa, Canada. Let's take a look at this letter right here. Now, my colleague shared the letter with me. You're looking at that right now. In that letter, the lawyer, Robert Beck, let's show you a picture of him, explains that his firm is in charge of settling a permanent life insurance policy held by a deceased client. Now, that client was a supposed COVID-19 victim, and the firm has had trouble finding any relatives to give the money to over the last 4 years. Now, the amount of money, according to Mr. Beck, nearly $11 million. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The lawyer asks in the letter for my colleague to put his name on the insurance policy because my colleague, and I put this in air quotes, folks, shockingly shares the same last name as a deceased person. But then Robert Beck, the lawyer, asks that he himself collect 10% of that $11 million once the other 90% of the funds are transferred into my colleague's bank account. Now let me stop right here and just say this obviously feels like a scam, right? You've got a lawyer from Canada reaching out to you about a dead COVID victim, all to the tune of $11 million. Red flag after red flag after red flag. Tonight I want to show you how some simple steps to figure out if this actually is a scam, and all you need access to is the World Wide Web. Let's take a look. So to figure out if this was a scam, I began by Google searching the Robert Beck law firm. Now they provided the website on the letter, and when you go to that website, wow, right? It looks like a legit law firm. I can take a spin around the site. You'll see things like frequently asked questions, an About Us page, pictures of all their lawyers and partners. Hey, you remember that guy? That's Robert Beck. And it's these pictures I want to hone in on right now. These people, well, they look like normal humans. They look like lawyers. But an easy way to see if a picture is legit is to reverse Google search it. Now let's take a look at our good friend Robert Beck. All you have to do is reverse search a picture by right-clicking on the image, click Search Image with Google. Once you've done that, click on the Find Image Source button, and you'll be shocked to see what pops up. This same image of the so-called lawyer from Canada, Robert Beck, actually turns out to be Julian Boone from a company called iCentra. Or is he actually Manuel Mitchell from Riverwater Link? Or does this man not actually work for a law firm, but work for a company called PacWest Contracting? As you can see, this photo is a fake, and it's being used across the internet on multiple different scams. And folks, for good measure, and to really nail this point home, I decided to call the Robert Beck law firm at the number that was on top of the letter. And this is what happened. So finally tonight, folks, it's important to understand the details that scammers will put into these types of crimes, as we've just showed you. They'll use fake phone numbers, fake details, fake addresses, fake pictures even. It's important when you get something like this sent to you in the mail or a text message or an email, take a breath, relax, and then do your own research. Use the tools in front of you to recognize the red flags that are all around you. Folks, if you have something happening in your area or hey, you simply just need some help, I want to hear about it. You could be on my next Help Me Ben. Visit our website, nonstoplocal.com, and click on the Help Me Ben tab under News. We'll be right back after the break.